and welcome to this special series of Parent Connection workshops to meet your school resource officer. I'm Natalie Allen, Chief Communications and Community Engagement Officer for VBCPS. The School Resource Officer, or SRO program, was adopted in the mid-1990s in Virginia Beach. The program is a partnership between the Virginia Beach Police Department and the Virginia Beach City Public Schools. SROs are a focal point of the overall comprehensive security plan in the school division. In Virginia Beach, approximately 30 officers are dedicated to the SRO program. SROs are assigned to each of the 11 city public high schools and the 13 middle schools. A key to the SRO program is to build relationships between the police officer and the stakeholders, administrators, faculty, staff, students, and their parents at school. Tonight, we are going to introduce you to our fourth and final group of SROs. Wave at me when you hear your name. From Great Neck Middle School, we have Officer Mantoni.
Hi.
From Lansdowne Middle, we have Officer Pratt.
Hey.
From Larkspur Middle School and my alma mater, we have Officer Wright.
Good day.
From Lynn Haven Middle, Officer Trask.
Hello.
From Salem Middle School, we have Officer Abrick.
Hey.
And from Virginia Beach Middle School, we have Officer Swartz.
Evening.
Hi there. I think I got everybody. Oh, we have Officer Guck too from Plaza Middle School. Nice to see you.
Hello.
And last but not least, we also have a special guest for just a few minutes. We have Chief Dean with us here tonight. Thank you so much for being here, Chief. All right, and now to get into the fun stuff, let's do some questions here. And I'm gonna just kind of pick round robin. I'll start with Officer Mantoni, if that's okay. So first, can you give us a little bit of background and what you like about being an SRO, and of course, your favorite thing about your school?
Being an SRO is very rewarding with having all the children in the school. Now that we're getting the 7th and the 8th graders back for this year, it's going to be even better once they're all into schools. I like all the camaraderie between 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, the teachers, and all the staff. It's a very rewarding experience so far.
Perfect. And tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
I've been a police officer about 25 years now and an SRO for 2. So I'm just enjoying the being in the building and being around the kids. It's very good.
Very cool. Officer Gach, what about you? What do you like about being an SRO? What's your background? And tell us what your favorite thing about your school is.
Good evening, Natalie, Chief, the rest of the SROs. Officer Gauck here, been an officer for coming up on 13 years in January, an SRO for coming up on 7. I like the school resource officer role because it gives me a chance to be that positive community engagement between the students, the community, parents, teachers, faculty, and I highly enjoy that.
Awesome. Officer Pratt, what about you?
My favorite thing about being an SRO is definitely the kids. It's a lot of fun. It's a different side of interacting with kids in the school environment, and it's definitely mostly a positive interaction with the kids as well as their parents and the teachers. It's a lot of fun. This year's definitely been a unique experience so far because we don't have the usual high fives and sitting down and hanging out at lunch and all that. But that's definitely my favorite, is just interacting and having hopefully a positive impact with the kids.
Awesome. Officer Pratt, what about you? A little bit about your background and your favorite thing about being an SRO?
Yeah, so I have been an officer for a little over 11 years now. I'm temporarily assigned to Lansdowne Middle School because Officer Taylor had a medical situation, so I'm filling in. I was the school resource officer there 5 years ago. So I'm happy to be back at the same school that I was at before, and not much has changed other than the kids.
Well, that's good luck. We're happy to have you back for sure. Officer Wright from
Yes, ma'am.
Larkspur.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
us a little bit about your background, what you like being about an SRO, and what you love about your school.
Yes, I started, I have roughly 22 years with the city of Virginia Beach. And before that, I was a veteran of the United States Coast Guard. It's always been in my bucket list to be an SRO. I didn't know exactly what it entailed. I'm basically the rookie SRO because last year it was the first year and it was cut short due to COVID. But I can say that it was initially the most stressful part of my job initially. But once you have that connection, you develop that rapport with the administration and the parents, or at least hopefully it's deemed as positive. It makes the whole day go by a lot smoother, and that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Officer Trask from Lynn Haven Middle. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you love about being an SRO, and of course, what you love about your school.
I am in my second year of being an SRO at Lynn Haven Middle. I'm still a pretty young police officer, but I had a few years in the Virginia Beach City school system working, so kind of slid right in pretty early on. I wasn't the best student in school, and so I've really been enjoying the ability to be able to interact with kids who maybe are struggling here and there, and try to develop relationships with those kids. Yeah, I loved last year and ready to bring all the kids back this year.
Awesome. Officer Albrecht, what about you? I know you're new-ish, so what do you love about your school so far, and what do you love about being an SRO so far?
If Officer Wright is the rookie, then I'm the rookie. I've been in this thing for 3 weeks now. I've been a police officer at the 4th Precinct for 10 years, it'll be 10 years in February. And, it's just a lot of the people that we deal with as adults, are criminals, and they're the way they are. It is what it is. And that's kind of how they chose to live their lives. But when you're in the role with a child, you can be a positive mentor to them and hopefully steer them in the right direction where we don't see them as adults. They want to do the right things. They see that they got good officers in their schools that have, similar interests in sports and different things like that. Build relationships and rapport with them, and hopefully get them on the track where we don't see them again in a negative light as adults.
All right, and what about you, Officer Swartz, Virginia Beach Middle? I think you're last but not least, right?
Yeah. So I'm Officer Schwartz. I've been a police officer for a little over 13 years, which is always a little awkward when it's like middle school, and that's about the age of the median age of the students is when they were born. I've been at SRO. It's going to be my 3rd year of VB Middle. I love it. Staff's great. It's a real community-oriented school in the Beach District. I think I would say the thing that I like most about it is it's a little bit different than traditional police work. It's probably what I'd say the most kind of organic form of community policing, because we see the same people every day. They see the same officer every day. It's different than your normal police officer interaction where you meet a police officer, it's a stranger, you might see them one day of your life on a bad day, then never see them again. Whereas with us in the school, we get to see the kids every day, and so if they are having a bad day or something does go wrong, well, they already know us, we already know them, we know this isn't like how they normally are, what their life is normally like, and it's good to see that the reality of that. 'Cause sometimes in normal policing, it can feel the opposite of that. So
Yeah. Well, tell us, since we're still talking with you, tell us what your favorite hobby is, or what you like to do when you're not at school.
I'd say my favorite hobby is probably, I don't know if spending time with your family is a hobby, but that's where most of my time goes. Is I have my own kids, wife, spend a lot of time with them, volunteer at my church. I'd say I like art, been painting since I was, young adult, doing digital art. And being at Beach Middle where the gifted art program is, it's awesome because I get to see how talented all the kids are, and they're in middle school and they're already miles ahead of my own skill set. So it's fun and challenging at the same time.
Yeah, there's some really talented kids at VB Middle. It's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. All right, Officer Mantoni, what about you? What do you like to do when you're not at school?
My hobbies are golf. I like to play golf a lot. I actually played today and had the best round of my life.
All right.
Broke 80. Very, very happy.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I enjoyed playing with my dogs. My dogs are getting a little bit older, so they're, we don't have, they're my hobby. But they're getting a little bit older. They're 15 and I think about 13 or 12. So they're getting up in age. So it's still fun to still play with them.
Absolutely. I have a puppy dog myself. What kind of dog do you have?
2 Jack Russells.
Oh, they're very playful. Okay, high energy. All right, Officer Pratt, what about you?
Well, when I'm not working, number one is I'm a mom. So that takes up a lot of my time. I have 2 very active boys. So keeping them busy and entertained is a full-time job in itself. And when I'm not doing that, I craft, I make things. So yeah.
What kind of things do you like to make?
All kinds of things. I have something sitting on my desk right now the kids would probably like. I make paper products.
Oh, cool.
I paint with like canvas. I make vinyl stuff. It's t-shirts.
So the real question is, do you have an Etsy shop?
No, not yet.
Okay, very cool. Officer Wright, what about you? What do you like to do when you're not at school?
Basically just trying to spend time with family. That could be here, or it could be in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is initially where I'm from and most of my family's from. I do occasionally, maybe once, when I was in the Coast Guard, whenever we go down the Caribbean, I'd scuba dive all the time. Now it's maybe once a year. But I also enjoy watching football, spending time with family and friends locally, and keeping an eye on my daughter, who just started college a year and a half ago, Southeastern University down in Florida. So 800 miles away, you have to keep an eye on your daughter, right?
Oh yeah, that's a long way away. Where's the best place you've ever scuba dived?
Off the coast of Panama. We were nervous about it because it was a small wooden boat, and it was a father and son that took us out, and they knew exactly where the drop off was, and it went from 30 feet to 96 feet.
Oh, wow.
And we were worried about, it was just 6 of us, and they were worried about us, or about them leaving us behind. But luckily they stayed there. And when we came up later, they picked us up and took us home and treated us to a nice meal in their home. It was very nice. And it was all for under like $30 a head, each person there. So you couldn't beat that anywhere.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get just a meal for
that was
under
the
$30.
deepest dive I've ever gone on, and the best, and the cheapest.
That's super cool. Officer Trask, what about you?
Sorry. I love traveling, go as much as I can all over the United States. This pandemic has made it a little bit difficult, but anywhere in the United States and Europe and Australia, as far as I can go, anytime I'm not working, I'm probably somewhere that's not in Hampton Roads. Not that I don't love Hampton Roads, but it's just really great to get on an airplane and go see different areas of the world.
Absolutely. Favorite spot? Where's your favorite place you've ever been?
Favorite place I've ever been. We flew from England to Dublin, and then we took a train and a bus and a ferry all the way down to the coast of Baltimore. And there's this little private island called Sherkin Island. And we spent a week on this little private island, and there was like 14 families on this island and 2 restaurants, and it was just a phenomenal time. Best trip definitely I've ever taken.
Very cool. I wonder if that's the Kim Kardashian island.
Probably not. It's a very, very, very cheap private island.
Very cool. My favorite was Iceland. I love traveling too. And if
Northern
you haven't
Lights?
been, I highly suggest at some point, when this pandemic is over. Officer Gauk, what about you?
So when I'm not working, I'm heavily invested in the soccer community. That's one of the good things about being an SRO is I coach the Plaza Boys soccer team,
Oh, how cool.
and I also coach for Beach FC. And then I'm a national collegiate referee. And last year, I finally broke into the NCAA and got my bid and was able to travel up to UVA and referee in the NCAA soccer team tournament. So,
How neat.
yep.
That's very cool. And so do you play soccer yourself in all that free time I'm sure you don't have?
When I coach, I play with the kids. I used to play with adults probably 10 years ago, but a lot of adults don't understand I have to get up and go to work tomorrow morning. So the 100% trying to go all out, that was 15 years ago. So no, I don't play actively because I spend a lot of my time coaching and then reffing as well.
Very cool. All right. And Officer Arbrick, what about you?
So I love music. I love to listen to music. I love playing music. Before I was a police officer, I lived in Nashville for a while and did music full time out there. So it's always been something I love to do. So I have a band. I play gigs on the weekend, and I play on our worship team at our church. So I mean, I really stay quite busy with music. I love sports too. I love football. Denver Broncos, they're not good. Washington Capitals, they're good. So that's okay. So yeah, sports and music is kind of my thing.
What instruments do you play?
I play guitar and I sing.
Okay. And what kind of music? Do you have any particular genre that you
I grew up playing and listening to country music, but I mean, we play country and rock. I mean, I like almost anything. It's hard for me to hear some kind of music and be like, I just don't like it.
Right.
So I have a variety of music.
Very cool. We have some really talented people on this call. Like, kudos to you guys. All right. And so I'm going to stick with you and tell me what your favorite food is. If you could have something to eat right now, what would it be?
Sushi. I love sushi. I could eat sushi every day of my life and be absolutely content.
I feel the same way. Tuna and avocado all the time.
Yes.
Officer Wright, what about you?
I would say even my relatives in Carolina asked me to come down and cook steaks for them. It's a special marinade that I do with ribeye steak for 2 days. It has to be 2 days in the refrigerator. And a ribeye steak, steamed broccoli, and a good baked potato. And then you'll take a 4-hour nap afterwards.
You can't beat it, right?
That's right.
I lived in Kansas City right before this, before I came back home, and talk about a good ribeye. They don't lie when they say that the Midwest has great steak. So again, when the pandemic's over, maybe you can go, Kansas.
Yeah, you're in agreement. All right.
Officer Pratt, what's your favorite food?
If it's not sushi, then I could eat Mexican pretty much every day.
I feel that. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Officer Trask, what about you?
I love some good old Nashville hot chicken. It's
There we go.
phenomenal.
I bet Officer Albrecht could hook you up. He was in Nashville,
Yeah, I was going to say, I can hook you up there, buddy. We'll get together after the meeting.
Officer Mantoni, what's your favorite food?
I'm going to go with when I first came on the police department, I had a field training officer that liked sushi, and I brought my own lunch because there was no way I was going to try that out. However, years later,
you learned the error of your ways, right?
I went and tried some sushi, and I cannot stop. It's amazing. Just trying different things, and just having it not taste like fish, and it's delicious. It's amazing. I should have taken him up on it when he brought me to lunch every day for sushi.
Do you have a favorite sushi spot in Virginia Beach?
The place over on the 4th in Providence Square Shopping Center, Sushi Masa, I think it is pretty good.
All right. Officer Swartz, what's your favorite food?
Or
did we already-
So what?
Oh.
Okay. I'm always there.
You're not allowed to say. You're not allowed to say sushi.
No, I was gonna say I could go nuts for some donuts. Yeah, I mean, it might be a stereotype, but I loved donuts before I was a cop, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love
Oh,
donuts
man.
after I'm a cop. But I love donuts. I think currently they've tried all the like local shops in the area. I would say the Pink Dinghy probably has the best local donuts right now on my
I haven't heard of that place. The Pink.
donut hierarchy. It's down here in the Vibe District.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Saturday, Sunday mornings they do donuts, and it's my top. What's that bakery over on Line?
And-
That's not it. Yeah, but yeah, donuts and or pizza, I guess. Just health food.
Maybe like together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, Officer Gawk, what about you? Or Gauk, I'm sorry.
No worries. I was gonna say pizza because nobody else said it. So good old cheese pizza.
All right. Do you have a favorite spot in Virginia Beach? I feel like there's lots of actually good pizza here.
Papa John's.
Oh, okay. I'm a
I agree with him. It does.
All right. And Officer Gauk, do you have a favorite movie? If you were gonna tell kids to watch a cool movie that they maybe haven't seen, what would you pick?
I'm a huge Iron Man fan, so I'm assuming that everyone's already seen that. Yeah, beyond that, I have no idea.
Officer Wright, what about you?
With their parents' permission, of course. But one classic, I think, is the '96 Gladiator.
Oh,
Even though it's
good
not
movie.
historically correct, it's still, that was one movie that I went to, and it's very rare. Went in, and when I came out, I said that was worth every penny. Gladiator.
Yes, very good movie. Every time it's on TV, it's like you have to watch it. Officer Pratt, what's your favorite movie?
I can't pick a favorite movie.
No.
There's lots that I would recommend. My kids and I just, well, I know it's past Halloween now, but we just watched the Hubie Halloween on Netflix, and that was pretty classic
heard
Adam
it's funny.
Sandler.
Yeah. I'll have to watch that for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone likes Hocus Pocus. at home.
That's a good one too.
Hey,
Yes. Practical Magic, all the Halloween
Mhm.
fun movies. Officer Albrecht, what about you?
I would have to say the original Pirates of the Caribbean.
All
I
right.
know there's like a million of them, but the first one was it for me. I love that movie. I love that character. It's great. 2 thumbs up.
Definitely. I feel like that was definitely the best one too.
Yes.
Mhm. Officer Trask, what about you?
I love Catch Me If You Can. It's a great story. Love that anytime it's on TV. Check it out.
Yeah. Leo DiCaprio in his prime.
Amen.
Officer Mantoni, what's your favorite movie?
I have to watch once a year Scarface. After
Scarface.
you're done.
Absolutely.
With parents' permission.
Definitely.
You watch the first
Once
And
a year.
Officer Swartz, what's your favorite movie?
I would say the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Which one? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen that. It's really good. You like it?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Cool. What was your favorite subject in school, Officer Swartz?
I would say art.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Officer Mantoni, what about you?
I liked ROTC when I was in it.
Very cool.
Yep.
Officer Trask, what was your favorite subject in school?
I was definitely PE. I loved PE. Great class.
Well, it is a good class. You get to be active, which is always nice, right?
100%.
Officer Gauk, what about you?
So I like JRTC as well, which kind of led me to the Coast Guard Reserves. So I got to plug in the Coast Guard.
Woo-hoo.
I think I already plugged in, but hey.
Hey,
Active
double plug.
reserve. You're full duty.
6 years.
Officer Pratt, what was your favorite subject in school?
I was when I was in high school, psychology.
That was a really fun class.
Yeah, my teacher was awesome. Still friends with her today.
Oh, how cool. Officer Wright, favorite subject?
In high school,
Yeah.
I would say history, U.S. and world.
Very cool. And Officer Albrecht, what about you?
I loved history and oceanography.
Nice. All right, and I'm actually down to my last question, you guys, and that is just, I'm gonna kind of call on each one of you, and can you tell us how students can reach out to you or find you in your building? And if there's anything that you didn't get to share that you want your students and school family to know about you before we wrap up, just let them know here. So I am going to start with Officer Pratt.
Yep. So the SRO office at Lanestown Middle School is in guidance. So you can go to the main guidance entrance and ask to speak to me at any time, or Officer Taylor when he gets back. And just know that your SROs are there to help you for anything, not just, about legal stuff, but we're a resource for many things. If you need to confide in someone, you're welcome to come in our office and we'll shut the door and talk about anything that you have going on. So don't be afraid to reach out, or even if you just want to drop in and say hi.
Perfect. Officer Albrecht, what about you?
So my office is right in the main office. To the left, you walk in, wide open door. Door's never shut. It's always open. Sometimes I'm walking around, I'm not in there, but that is my office. I'm always in every lunch. I'm walking around the tables talking to the kids in every single lunch. Get close enough to them. They always want to ask a question about something, and you start, talking to that kid every day and day in and day out. So that's where you can find me.
Perfect. Thank you. And Officer Gauk, anything you want the students to know, and also where they can find you and reach out to you?
So my office is located in the prime real estate. It's in the clinic. But I'm constantly walking around. But if you need to get in touch with me and meet in my office, please ask to go to the clinic, and then they'll page me to come to my office. All the students at Plaza, because my last name is kind of difficult to pronounce, they call me Officer G or OG. So feel free to call me that. Always up for some high fives and fist bumps, and with COVID, so all air fives given out. But if you definitely see me around school, don't hesitate to say hello.
Awesome. Officer Wright, what about you?
My office is in the D hall, in the tech room. It's a pretty sizable room, but I have teachers come in all the time because there's extra filing cabinets in there. But I try to make it as personable as I can. I am there in the morning generally to greet the students when they get off the bus with other teachers and things of that sort. I try to be always approachable. And in fact, I've given out, I'll probably have to replenish. I was hoping my 500 my business cards would have lasted for another 2 years. But once I gave it to one student, then all of them wanted it. And it has my personal cell on there. And I said, do not be calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning unless it's an emergency. But they are real open to it. And once I gave out one, it seemed like I was bombarded. It was over probably 50 kids wanting my business card. But I try to always be open and approachable. And that's the main key in trying to develop a rapport with not just the administration, but the students and the parents as well.
Absolutely. Officer Trask, what about you? How do kids get in touch with you? And is there anything that you want them to know that we didn't get to cover here?
So my office is in the library. It's pretty out of the way. I'm pretty much never there. If you need to find me, you can find me either hanging out in guidance or roaming the halls aimlessly. I'm always at the parent pickup at the end of the day, helping direct traffic. Please find me. Always open for a quick conversation or a joke here and there. So let me know if you need anything.
Perfect. Officer Mantoni?
The Great Neck, my office at Great Neck is inside the office to the right-hand side. So when you go into the office, just ask to speak with me. If I'm not in the office, I'm usually roaming the halls, in the lunches. So if you have anything to talk about, just come find me, just stop me, and I'll be more than happy to talk with you, and we'll figure out what's going on.
Perfect. And lastly, Officer Swartz.
Yeah, I was just saying, catch me in these streets. The now my office is in the main office, which is convenient because it's often if a student has an issue, it's pretty easy for them to get to the main office. But I also try to be present, visible in the halls and the lunch. That way, you can have casual conversation with students, or if it's something maybe they don't want to think is important enough to go to the office, they can just talk to us in passing. If you're a parent, you can always call the second precinct and leave a message for me, or call Beach Middle, and we're there. Whenever the kids are in there, whenever school is in, we're also there. So if you call the school, they can find me and pass me through to you.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I know it's after hours for a lot of you, and we just so appreciate the fact that you were willing to hang out with us for a few minutes and get to know you a little bit better. So again, I want to thank you. Thank you for everything that you do for our students every single day. And to our families watching, thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, Natalie.
Bye.
Bye, guys.